Hi guys! So before we leave the United States, me and my partner decided to go to New Orleans. Both of us have never been before, so we thought this was the perfect opportunity to do so before we're out of the country for 5 to 6 years. So I hope you enjoy our journey around the French Quarter of NOLA. So we started off with breakfast at one of my favorite cafes in Dallas, La La Land. And then we were on our way to Louisiana. Now, Texas is such a large state that getting out of Texas was the majority of the road trip in all actuality. I think people don't realize how big of a state Texas is until they've driven. But after what seemed like forever, we finally made it to Louisiana, and that's where we had our first stop, which was this place. It was like a gas station, but they also had a casino attached to it. The moon was full and really cool looking that night, so of course I had to get a video of it. This was the first hotel that we stayed at on the French Quarter. It was really nice. It was in the inner area, so there were no windows, so it was very dark if you turned off the lights. But it was really cool looking. There's just something special about staying in places that are really old with a lot of history and things that are like not really conventional, like your typical Hilton or Marriott. You never know what you're gonna get with these unconventional hotels. The courtyard area was gorgeous, and that's something I'm going to be saying throughout this entire video. The architecture here in New Orleans is there's just something special about it. There's so much history, richness, and culture, and it's like you can touch the past. You're literally touching the past. And it's really crazy to think that we're only one state over, yet everything looks so different. Like, you couldn't find this kind of architecture in Texas. A lot of stuff is just new in Texas. But everywhere you turn, even in this hotel lobby, there's so much art. While we were walking around, not only was there gorgeous architecture, but there was a lot of abandoned buildings as well, which makes me wonder what exactly is going on with Louisiana. I don't really know much about it. But what I really liked about the French Quarter was that there were so many small shops. There was nothing really like corporate about it. It was so surreal knowing that people lived in these buildings, these historical buildings that have had so many lives cycling through them. As tourists, we're awed by these buildings, but for the residents, it's just their house. I could appreciate these plaques on the wall telling you the history of the town. Of course, because it is Louisiana, there were a lot of Voodoo tourist shops. At these shops, you could get your gris-gris bags, you can get oils, you can get candles, you can get books on Voodoo, all that kind of stuff that tourists would really like. However, as actual Voodoo practitioners, we were trying to find something that was a little less touristy. even had a vampire cafe, which I thought was really cute. We didn't eat here because there was nothing really on the menu that either of us were interested in having, but I really like the concept. I know Anne Rice fans would absolutely love this place. You can really see the Caribbean influence in all of this architecture. I was too young to remember the experience I had when I went to Jamaica to visit family, but there was something about this architecture that felt like home. Now this place was absolutely delicious, and shout out to that server that was by the bar. She absolutely killed it. What I found really cool was the fact that they still use gas lamps to light the streets. Which is actually really funny because the French Quarter caught fire twice because of these gas lamps. While we were aimlessly wandering around, we actually came across a burlesque show flyer and we decided to go because we both love burlesque. So we went to the Toulouse Theater. I'm going to link this burlesque troupe in the description because they are absolutely worth seeing. And it's a great way to support the burlesque dancers because this is an art. This is an art of passion. This is an art where they deserve to get paid. You're gonna be able to see some, but go see it for yourself and support them, please.
The name is Burlesque.
Much as we love your hoots and hollers, we absolutely love your dollars. We are but humble artists without health insurance, you know? And you guys are totally killing it at the game of life. You're wearing shoes with a strap. You got a button down. You guys probably pay your taxes. I love that for you.
The woman that I love, she wouldn't go nowhere.
Because my name is Mike and I do magic, I have been known as Magic Mike. Hashtag not that Magic Mike. There's my rim shot right there. There you go. Sorry to disappoint.
After you've gone and left me crying, after you've gone, there's no denying it won't be. They call the rising sun, and it's been the ruin of
Now everybody wants my baby. My baby don't want nobody but me. That's plain to see. So she's my sweet patootie, and I am her loving man. She knows how to do her duties like no other can. Now everybody loves my baby. My baby don't love nobody but me. Hey.
Dr. David Glass.
After the burlesque show, we went to Bourbon Street, and boy, was it crowded and crazy. This breakfast at Cafe Fleur de Lis was just, oh, it was so freaking good. This is the next historical hotel that we stayed at. Like, it's really, really nice looking. And while not everyone is into the historical aesthetic, me and my partner are, so we were absolutely loving these hotels. The courtyard here was also very, very nice looking. It would be a great place to have a glass of wine. And again, the lobby was full of artwork. I just could not get over the architecture and the art. Like, look at those statues, look at the trellises, look at the railing, the detail in all of that. Ah! It was kind of funny because we had been in the heart of the French Quarter for such a long time that when we went out here, it was more city-like. It was almost jarring, like, whoa, we're in the modern world. And of course we had to get our beignet on. This breakfast was pretty good. The grits were okay. They weren't as good as the Cafe Fleur de Lis grits by a long shot, but I liked this breakfast just fine. And now for some park ambiance. It's the church! If you don't know, that is the symbol of the crossroads, which is apt for putting in front of a doorway. Now, I really enjoyed this particular voodoo shop. It had shrines for all of the lua, so you see all the offerings people are making for these specific lua. I feel like this was the most educational voodoo shop that we went to. When you're in New Orleans, get the Cajun food. If you try to get the not Cajun food on the menu, you're gonna be disappointed, unfortunately. So just get the Cajun food because I promise you, it's worth it. So of course, we're not proper tourists unless we go on a haunted ghost tour. We did this in Massachusetts when we went to Salem, Massachusetts. We went on a haunted ghost tour. And I really enjoy them. Some people think they might be kitschy, but you know what? If it's your vacation, do what you want. The tour guide we had, his name was Chris. So if he's still doing it by the time you see this video, get him as your tour guide. He was very good.
In the city, if you do go inside and you happen to see a pair of young boys running past you, look for them.
I learned a lot about New Orleans history during this ghost tour. Not only did we learn about some of the spookier things, but we also learned about some of the messed up things that people did in New Orleans. I think one of my favorite stories was how New Orleans burned down twice because they didn't learn their lesson.
Still in daily use. There has been a church on that site since 1727. This is the location of the church that did not ring its bell.
There's also a restaurant that sets a table for its deceased previous owner.
Gentlemen, back in the day, the closer you lived to the heart of the French Quarter, the more prominent you were in town. Imagine living right here. This was a beautiful house. I want to make sure they do it right. Who has seen the movie Interview with a Vampire? Y'all have seen this house.
Ooh.
There's a scene after Claudia's dinner. His name was Jacques Saint Germain. Jacques Saint Germain was a world traveler, adventurer, explorer.
Then we went to the Sazerac House, which is a completely free tour. There's a more detailed video on this channel about it, but it's very much worth it. I know that in the video I said that you had to be 21 or older to go on this tour, but really it's just 21 or older if you want to drink. You can bring kids here, I guess, but I don't know why you would want to. The place smells like booze. And after all that, after we checked out of our last hotel in the French Quarter, we started to make our way over to the Garden District. It was still weird going into a city where there are like skyscrapers and stuff after being in the French Quarter. I highly recommend this Airbnb in the Garden District. The woman that lives here is so nice. And the house itself is just the coolest place. Like, I would want to have a house like this when I get older. And this dog was super, super sweet, so if you don't mind dogs. But just going into the house, like, look at that. Look at those dragons. What? Every single inch of this house was covered in art. You could not look to your left or your right without seeing some unique piece of artwork. The woman's late husband was an anthropologist just for fun. He liked to travel and collect artifacts and things like that wherever he went. Parlor room, there was a shrine dedicated to her late husband, so if you ever go ahead and put an offering there. But this house is old as fuck. Like, I think it's 150 something years old. It survived Katrina, it survived being dilapidated, and it's really cool because she'll give you a little handout where it has the entire history of the house typed out. The house was pretty spooky, not gonna lie, but I in like a really good way. Again, it's such an old house, it's bound to be kind of spooky. Now apparently this room is the most haunted room in the house. But we chose to stay in the library. So look at all those CDs. That's so cool. And there were just books upon books upon books. Wall to ceiling books. I could probably just spend so much time in this room just reading all of these books. I actually started reading one of the books about old world psychology. It was really, really interesting. There were old encyclopedias. There were old books about different parts of the world. This is definitely a room full of knowledge and culture. This cool ass shower too. I know I'm saying the word cool a lot, but I just don't know how else to describe it other than like, it's just so damn cool. This is a place I would love to have when I'm old. So then we went into town in the Garden District, and this was a really nice cafe. They had beignets here that were absolutely covered in powdered sugar, a little more powdered sugar than I like, but if you're a big fan of sweets, you're gonna love these. Then in the evening, we decided to walk to the restaurant that we were going to, Joey K's, and the houses in the Garden District are also just absolutely stunning, and they had different plaques to tell you what they were. But the houses here are beautiful, just beautifully crafted, unique. They're not cookie cutter in any sense. Right?
Oh, hi, kitty.
Hello, kitty.
Hi. Hi, beautiful. Hi.
Oh, you like
Oh,
attention.
you're so pretty. Oh my god.
And this restaurant was good as hell. The drinks were cheap and delicious, and the food was just plentiful and filling. I recommend this restaurant tenfold. Then in the morning we did once around the Garden District town area, and then it was time to go home. And then we almost got caught in a tornado. Like, there was literally a tornado in the area on our way home, and I was terrified. But that was it for our Louisiana trip, and hopefully you like this video. Check out the next one. Bye!